And we're back. Arriving at the dorms, Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been so quiet for almost the whole walk back that I had all but forgotten she was here. It's Friday, isn't it? Yes, Friday, the 8th of June. This is bad. Bad? Why? I think I'm gonna go into a fetal position to throw up, probably in reverse order. Is something wrong? No, nothing is wrong. It's Friday, and nothing is wrong yet. This mural, it's going to need to be finished by Sunday, so everything's alright. Do you have any drugs or a time machine? This is not good, not good. She's behind her schedule. Recalling Shizune's exasperation at Rin's carefree attitude several days ago, I don't know what to think. She has left herself open for a told you so unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Rin keeps staring at her mural, looking as mortified as she can. Leave me, I'm gonna need to work for a while. In the middle of the night? I glance at Lily, expecting her to share an incredulous look with me as I roll my eyes, but then I realize she's not one to do that kind of thing. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Leave me. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is. There's a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rin sure has a knack of making people feel worried about her. She seems like a person who should never be left alone. Maybe we should call someone. She sounded like she was going into shock or something. I'm sure she will be just fine. She's just, how to say. Lily cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way of calling Rin crazy without calling her crazy. Unique? Yes, a very unique person. I guess you could say that? She giggles at the notion melodiously, nodding agreement. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talk to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance. So my guess was right. Lily offers a slight apologetic smile as if she was sorry that her own shortcomings have prevented her from becoming close to Rin. I'm not one to blame her at all. Lily lets slip a long breath, probably a disguised yawn. I imagine she's as exhausted by all this as I am. I'd better leave now and give these to Hanako. Thank you for the company, Izo. She smiles very sweetly at me. It feels different than normal, despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often. Can't put my finger on what the difference is. It's just different. Relaxed, I'd say, but that's probably just relief over getting rid of Rin, maybe. Yeah, good night. Say hi to Hanako for me. I will. Good night. Farewell. How many days have we been here now? I completely forgot. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session. There's school on Saturday? Okay. Each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people that have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until lunch break, and then our time is our own. Oh. Muto lurches into class in a tired stagger. I suppose students aren't the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrawls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the two empty seats behind me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing student council work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha present. Wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she is making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak with you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I didn't even notice Muto approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him into the hallway. Muto stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he's trying to say. Not knowing what is going on, I wait silently. So, tell me, how are things? Things? I expected Muto to be a little vague, but this is pushing the limits. You know, things. You've had a week to settle in now, so how are things? Fine, I guess. I see. And how's your condition? The pause before condition seems a little unnecessary. Haven't had any problems so far. A brief shimmer of release passes across Muto's face. Good, that's good. The school nurse was a little concerned that you might have been pushing yourself a bit too hard. He asked me to keep an eye on you when he couldn't. That makes sense. I'd ask that you don't blow us off so freely. As much as we try to give you the level of education that you would get at a normal school, you have to realize that you have limits. Our goal is to make sure that you know where those limits are and how to maximize your potential within them. Do you follow me? I guess. I mean, I don't plan on doing anything stupid. Well, that's a start, I guess. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for quite a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Muto taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there that realize the importance of learning? I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah, you've got to keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right. Wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Muto's serious talk is over, and he's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, I think that's all I had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at this suggestion is unsurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Muto pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For an instant I consider replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back into the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on the questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Muto does not even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got him there. The class returns to the near silence that Muto and I left it in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for these problems by Monday. The class sighs as one, instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend, and the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either, so an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil led splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish a paragraph. Sounds of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood of the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako. Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idly back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her, though, her slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. After about 10 minutes of restlessly shuffling in her seat and trying to read, Hanako closes her book and leaves too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished and there's nothing else to do in the classroom. Not that I have anything to do anywhere else either. School is a beehive of activity. Nobody pays me any heed. I saunter past classrooms filled with students frantically doing this and that, buzzing around like little worker bees. You wouldn't guess the school day is over. It's a bit quieter outside, but not by much. People zip by left and right, hurrying as quick as they can, busy and energetic. I feel the opposite. The midday sun seems to be draining all the spirit out of my body, making it feel limp all over. Warm, soft air flows inside my shirt, feeling like a cushion. I yawn lazily, thinking about what I'd do. I'll drop off my books at the dorm first, then something I haven't decided yet. Maybe Kenji's in his room. On the way to the dorms, I spot Emmy coming my way, running despite not having those weird running prosthetics on. I wave at her and she skids to a stop. Yo, Izzo. Spatters of white and green paint adorn her nose and chin respectively, but her smile is wide, as it seems it always is. She leans closer to me, amplifying the feeling she's examining me. What you doing? Nothing, really. I don't have anything to do for the festival, and everyone else seems to be doing something important. That's perfect. You can help me and Rin. Yeah, I don't know why he wasn't doing this in the first place. With the festival preparations, I'm not sure if I would be of much help. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not much help either. Emmy grabs my wrist and starts dragging me back inside the school quite forcefully. Even her walking speed is more like jogging, making me stumble over myself simply trying to keep up. The stairs slow Emmy down a little bit. Maybe it's hard to climb with her legs. Maybe she's finally run out of breath. We go all the way back to the 3rd floor and to the seniors' hallway, ending up where I left 5 minutes ago. I could just as well have stayed here waiting for Emmy had I known. So is Rin working on that mural still? That's right. She needs all kind of paints and brushes and stuff, so I went to get them from the art classroom. And you need me to help with that. Well, Rin told me you had already helped her, so I thought you wouldn't mind. I see. So thanks to Emmy's flaky logic, here I am again, collecting stuff from the art room for other people. The room is empty apart from ourselves and the lonely specks of dust floating in the air. Emmy skips straight away to the back wall, digging out a tiny crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. You know, we haven't seen Shizune in like a long time. While she tries to make sense of this scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at the materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles are arranged on the shelves in a most unorganized fashion. Some look like they have been left there for several decades, relics of previous art club generations. Next to the heavy stacks of neatly piled drawing paper are boxes full of different sized brushes and unsorted crayons. The smells of paint, turpentine, and fresh paper float in the stale air, mixing in my nostrils from that unmistakable scent of art. Emmy studies her notes, comparing them to the markings of the various paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches. She stretches her neck to look on the topmost shelf, but it's not quite enough. Her eye level stays below the shelf no matter what she does. Emmy gives up and just looks up to the shelf longingly, like a child at a toy store, huffing in annoyance. After a moment of building anger, she starts jumping up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels during the fraction of a second she can see them, and catch what she can. It's no surprise that she fails miserably, and almost manages to bring the entire shelf crashing down. Now I see why me lending a hand would be useful. Come on, let me do that. You can't jump high enough, and I don't want you to hurt yourself trying. Also, I'm like twice your height. You are not. She turns around, flaring scorn, flushed cheeks and all. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me one more time, but can't come up with a retort, and with a grudging humph, she turns it back to me. So I begin scrounging around the top shelf for paint, while below, Emmy crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboards. I shake my head a little after double-checking to ensure she can't see me do so. Emmy having a complex about her height was a surprise. I wouldn't have joked about it otherwise. She seems easygoing, but I guess everyone has their weak spots. Only after we have almost all the items collected and spread out on my desk like a treasure hunter's spoils do I realize it wasn't necessarily the height jab that got her riled up. She might not like to be told that she can't do something, like jump. But Amy herself seems to have forgotten all about it already, quick to anger, quick to forgive. Is she that type of person? At least she doesn't seem to have taken anything to heart, as she chatters away happily while we pick up the rest of the items and then make our way back to Rin. I chivalrously carry the bulk of the materials as we make our way towards the dormitories. Rin is really stressed about getting her painting done. It's her own fault, though. She should have started earlier. Is she gonna make it? No idea. It looks good to me, but with Rin you never know what's going on. I found her this morning lying in front of the dorm in fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. I can't believe the night nurses hadn't found her. Now she's painting again like crazy. Yeah, I've noticed that she comes off as kinda unhinged, so to speak. Emmy giggles at that, as well as at my likely too obvious awkwardness. I don't mind it, she's just a little weird sometimes. On that I can agree with her. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Rin's whatever it is that feels so off about her. Still, I don't feel close like Misha and Shizune do, with them working on it as a single entity. Sometimes it's hard to say where one ends and the other begins. Even though they're so different, just like Emmy and Rin are. And Rin is the most different of them all, different from anyone else I've met. And I guess she's a very unique person. I return to that word again as if it encompasses Rin's personality by itself, but really it's just a substitute for a lengthy description of her oddities. Emmy giggles as I grasp above for a properly descriptive word. She's just weird. You know, earlier she spent half an hour sitting on her box and stared at her toes. She giggles again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it, it just is. All the time. The working area is a mess, but the mural itself has taken even more of the wall since I last saw it. The disfigured human figures have been mostly colored in tones of red, pink, and orange, weird imaginary things populating the space between. It looks nice? I can't think of any word that would describe the work concisely and comprehensively, so I settle myself on the nondescript nice. But honestly, it seems like the area around the wall becomes untidier at the same rate as the mural progress. The ground is littered with dozens of paint cans, various art supplies, and empty soda bottles. Rin herself is in the center of this chaos, standing there looking very cozy as if she was a natural part of the scene. Her pant legs have been rolled up to her knees, exposing her thin legs which support a drawing spectrum of war paintings similar to those on Emmy's face. Emmy sprints to Rin ahead of me and gleefully jumps in front of her. I'm back. That was fast. Did you run in the corridors again? Izao helped me. Emmy points victoriously at me. Rin turns around, following Emmy's finger with her eyes, looking in my general direction. She nods absent-mindedly at me. She looks like she hasn't slept since last night. A vacant, glazed stare that's focused slightly off me and movements like in a slow-motion movie. Hello, Zhao. Thank you for the help. Don't mention it. I just did. Never mind. Looks like you've made progress, looking good as far as I can tell. But now you get more bad luck. I know, but I'm willing to take the risk. That's a very nice thing to say, for me, of course, not for you. This is why artists are always unlucky. They have to constantly look at their unfinished paintings. So artists can't find romance, their favorite TV shows are cancelled, or they die young because of an unspecified disease. It's a deep and mysterious law of the universe. Unless they are blind. She considers this for a while, looking like she's going to fall asleep. There is a boy. Yes. At the art club, you see, blind boy, so he doesn't see. You already told me. I glance sideways at Emmy, and she glances back in a way that tells me she heard this one before, too. Neither of us says anything to Rin, though, so she continues her monotone soliloquy like an unfunny stand-up comedian. You should become an artist. No bad luck guaranteed. Don't you think that would be a good idea? That only blind people should become artists? No, not as such. You might have a point. Abandoning this train of thought, she turns again to consider her work and starts humming a tune that I think I recognize but can't remember the name of. Emmy arranges the supplies we brought and moves a few paint cans around, trying to bring some organization to the scene. Emmy, I need the Prussian blue paint. Which one's Prussian blue? She's staring helplessly at 7 or 8 cans, each with a different tone of blue. Read the label. It's the one with Prussian blue paint in it. Oh. Geez, Rin, you're not helping at all. I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussian blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. Or what Prussia even is. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. Yeah, same here. While none of the blues look more Prussian than the others, the small print on the labels is legible enough to determine that none say anything about the contents being Prussian. There is no Prussian blue here. Emmy heaves a sigh. Guess I have to go back and get some. I promised to help with our class project, though, so I'll be back a bit later. Can you manage without it for a few hours? Rin nods, and so Emmy leaves. I stay because I like watching Rin paint and because I have nothing better to do. I sit on a box and pick up today's book from my bag. It's a story about 3 guys drinking beer for 2 weeks straight and doing little else. That doesn't sound very exciting at all. Rin moves from the spot that was in need of the blue and starts slowly working on another. Her foot works the brush steadily against the plastered wall, layers of paint on top of layers of paint. The mural slowly gains more form. I turn the pages at a leisurely pace. In this chapter, they are drinking beer at the protagonist's friend's house. In the previous ones, it was the protagonist's own apartment. Wow, that's exciting. It's not a page-turner kind of book. It's a slice of someone's imaginary life that makes me wonder why it had to be written. Why indeed, the reason for doing something creative, it's something incomprehensible. Like why Rin does paintings, I feel like she and Emmy are the same, going squarely against their fates, as if it's just out of spite. Rin even said something like that. do something you can just because do something you can't just because you can. Is that what she meant? Is that her reason? Might be Emmy's. She comes off as quite a headstrong person. Rin doesn't give off that kind of an air. Thinking about it, she doesn't give off any kind of air. Maybe a different kind every time I talk to her. Why did she say what she said? Why does she, or anyone at all, paint or draw or sculpt or write? I've never had much of a creative impulse, so I don't think I can really understand it. It makes me feel hollow inside. What a grim thought. I can't really decide whether it's true or not either. Am I content being this way? I can't deny I'm feeling a little bit envious of Rin, but I can't really consider it a flaw of any kind. I'm myself, and she is herself. Still, I do need to find something that could make me feel a little less lost about myself instead of just drowning myself in these books as I did in the hospital. I can't help but feel disoriented. The new school lifestyle and people around me contribute heavily to this sensation. I'm trying my best to fit into existing social circles, and most of the people I've met have been really nice. Still feels like I'm an outsider, though, like I don't belong. I shake the feeling off, realizing that I'm spacing out. I have neither turned a page of the book nor done anything for Rin. She's trying to pour some paint from a big can using only her feet, having not bothered to ask me, or maybe she did and I didn't hear it. Either way, it looks unstable. I quickly jump to help her as it looks like she's about to spill the entire contents of the can all over the pavement. I take the can from her feet and pour some into the bowl. She doesn't say anything, and neither do I. Catch a glimpse of her eyes looking silently at me from her unkempt bangs. It's an unreadable expression, a perfect poker face mixed with a hint of something like a mild surprise. I don't know what she's thinking. Maybe she's wondering about what I'm thinking. Maybe nothing. A penny for your thoughts? Do you have any pennies with you? I don't think I do. Then I don't think I will tell. I'm not thinking anything either, so you're in luck, except now I just did. She frowns, looking very unsatisfied. It's hard to not think about anything, but it's important. I'm about to ask why it's important when some old guy walks up to us, looking like he has some business with Rin. Good afternoon, how's it going? I can make it. Rin doesn't take her eyes off the wall and respond so naturally I can only assume they know each other. I haven't seen the man before, so I naturally wonder who he might be. Maybe a teacher? His hair is faded to a silvery grays, so much so that it looks artificially dyed. I hope that's not the case. Small round glasses hang on the bridge of his nose, but it appears he's constantly looking over the lenses rather than through them. He's studying the mural intently over said glasses. Good, good. What bold composition you have here. He moves to inspect the mural closer, talking to himself about it in a way that makes it obvious he wants us to hear it too. Very good indeed. I don't really know what to make of it, but Rin doesn't seem to care much. She's looking around her working space, the various bowls of different tones scattered all over. Izao? A little more of this. Give me a second. I pour a 50-50 mix of two paints into the bowl to create more of the same pale pink tone Rin was using to fill up the shape of a man's face. Rin watches me doing so, which makes me feel nervous somehow. Her face is so unassuming that it feels like she just waited for me to do something wrong. The man turns to reckon me as well, looking surprised as if he'd noticed my presence only just now. Maybe he did. Why, hello there, who might you be? I'm a transfer student to Class 3-3, Izao Nakai. Nice to meet you. Muto's class, eh? Well, I won't hold that against you. He laughs very loudly, obnoxiously loudly. A few small birds take flight from a nearby tree. I'm Shinichi Nomiya, the art teacher. So this is the art teacher. In retrospect, should have guessed that much. He even looks like one as far as first impressions go. How did you come to end up assisting my protege? I wish I knew. Oh, well, I didn't even read what the options are. Create new save state. Alright. Alright, well, I need a drink break. Alright. I'm interested in the art club. I just kind of stuck with her, I think. Oh man, I don't know which of these to choose. I mean, I like Ren, and I feel like this would be the right one to do for that, but at the same time I kind of like Lily, and I don't know how that one would go because they don't seem to be on spectacular terms. I guess I'll go with this one. I guess I'm a little interested in the art club. I blurted out, partially inadvertently. What do you mean? Nothing specific. Wonder if I could come by sometime, even if it's just to observe or something. I've been thinking I should join some club or something, so... I just scratch my ear. It's in no way a premeditated move, but a vague sense of determination has really been building inside of me for this past week. I want to do something. I want to belong somewhere. Might as well be the art club, my shortcomings notwithstanding. Teacher seems pleased. Oh, you want to join? Well, we always welcome new people, of course. Club meetings are normal enough. We study various aspects of the fine arts and try our hands at them as well. Or feet. He gives an embarrassed cough, but Rin doesn't seem to mind. I take a small amount of comfort from the fact that I'm not the only one with vocabulary difficulties in the school. Nomiya rebounds from his faux pas by theatrically checking the time from his huge gleaming pocket watch as he slaps his forehead even more theatrically. I really must take my leave now, but if you have questions, I'm sure Tezuka can clarify. Somehow mentioning clarify and Rin in the same sentence doesn't feel right. However, I don't say as much to the teacher since he seems to be in a hurry. Tezuka, I'm pleased to see that this little project is going so well. I just stopped by to remind you not to run off by yourself tomorrow. I've invited certain people to the festival for you, and I'm sure they'd like to meet you as well. I hope I'll see you on Monday then, Nakai. The teacher leaves and we are left by ourselves again. Rin is still painting as if nothing notable happened, since nothing in fact did. I'm left wondering what on earth is wrong with me. Art and I haven't worked well together in the past, at least judging from the grades I used to have in middle school. Maybe a club will be different than an obligatory class, who knows? Try to come up with something meaningful to ask about it, but to no avail. I'll just go to a club meeting and see how it goes. So he invited some people tomorrow just to check out your painting? He has a lot of art people friends. They like to talk about art. I think he wants me to talk about art with them. Somehow I get the feeling you aren't too thrilled about it. Riggs shrugs non-committedly, but still gives an impression of her general displeasure at the idea of having to discuss her painting or any painting with other people. I don't really like talking about art. It's already a way to talk without talking, so I bother talking about it. I can understand that. It's like being bored and talking about being bored because you are bored. I'm not following you. Have you ever talked about being bored? It's pointless and not very exciting. All you can really say about it is, I'm so bored. I once spent a week trying to think of something meaningful to say about boredness. It was the most boring week I've ever had. That's pretty fitting, don't you think? Rin gives me a look, the laconic kind that looks like she doesn't mean anything, but it does. Anyway, I don't know. I guess I just rarely can come up with anything to say about art. I mean, like this one you're doing now, I have no idea what to think about it except that it looks nice. What is this painting about? It's not about anything at all. That's what I'd like to say, so I did. That was a small lie. I said it anyway because I would kind of like it to be true. The teacher wanted me to do this, but I didn't have any ideas. I tried to have some, but nothing happened. So now this is a painting without any ideas. But what are you painting, then? No idea. Oh, come to think of it, I'll call this no idea. Now I started thinking again. This is bad. She shakes her head vigorously for a while, trying to shake thinking out of her head. That amber red hair flies wildly about. This is why I had Emmy help me. She makes it easy to not think about anything. You know, she just talks for about nothing for hours. It's like her head is made of bubblegum foam bath jelly. You are kind of the same, but not really. It's very helpful if you stay here. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not. It's probably neither, with Rin being the overly neutral person she is. So is there anything specific you'd like me to do to make you not think? Just be. So without knowing what I should do, I just sit on an empty box and watch her continue with the painting, idly leafing the pages of the beer-drinking book. Rin has a serene expression on her face, her dark green eyes hiding what she might think behind them. No way, she's supposedly not thinking anything, right? She quietly hums to a tune, interrupting every now and then with a polite request for more paint or another kind of brush. Her concentration is admirable, even though she seems to be sleep-deprived and under pressure to finish the job. Inch by inch, the painting gains more form, details being added on top of details, colors entwining with each other, filling the empty spaces, growing on top of each other. I find myself thinking about inspiration and motivation to create art again. Where does one get ideas? They don't come out of nowhere, and I don't think there are muses that magically inject some inspiration in your head. Ideas have an origin and a purpose. The more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that Rin is lying about her mural, or at least twisting the truth. Maybe she doesn't even realize it herself. You can't do anything creative without having an idea of what you're going to create. That would go against the definition. Every stroke must be decided to be drawn, even if it's made at random. Then that too is a conscious decision. So her painting, even this one, must be based on having some deliberate goal or idea of what to paint. If Rin's idea is to have no idea, as she said, does that count as having an idea? A logical paradox? That seems to be Rin's modus operandi for most normal interactions, so it wouldn't surprise me if she hadn't even noticed this herself. Wonder if I should bring it up, but I'm not sure I want to engage in an argument about logic with this girl. One of us would probably end up short-circuiting fairly quickly, so I discard the thought. Rin is squirming and shuffling restlessly. Even her usual blank visage breaks occasionally into pretty difficult-looking expressions, the kind that one doesn't just come up with accidentally. Everything alright? Yes. No. My back started hurting again. This painting is too big after all, and it's hard to paint in this position. Want to take a break? After I finish this part. Of course she doesn't take a break, and I won't bring it up again because that would be completely and utterly pointless. Rin continues her work and I stay with her. I like to watch her paint, and I'm going to be a member of the same club she's in now. When she declares the mural to be finished, it's already so dark that I have no idea how she can tell. There's no celebration, no general sense of a job well done, just a tired and laconic, I'm done, and then we both go to sleep. Surprised she managed to finish it. It looked like there was still a lot left. I have the sniffles. I have to keep muting my mic to sniffle. The next day I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low-quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway intending to go and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to today out of impulse. Curious if he has any plans since everyone is doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room. Or possibly something like a fort, complete with "No Girls Allowed" sign. And with the girls crossed out and body crudely scrawled underneath it. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign, I hear again the unsettling clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back. The door opens up a crack. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you. Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What is it, man? Nothing, was just gonna ask what you're gonna do today. Half the school's out there already. Out where? Why? What? What? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are? I can hear them. It's loud. Don't tell me. Has the invasion begun? He suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtains closed at all times to thwart the snipers. Ooh, that's a good idea. It's the festival. You know that, right? Oh shit, that's today? Damn it. I can't believe I forgot I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad. This is gonna be a very bad day. It's good you told me this, man. This is gonna be a bad day. Why? Oh, man, they're gonna be everywhere. The people outside my window, socializing. Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill. It's gonna be loud as hell. Damn it, I was gonna go out today, but now it's ruined. Everything is ruined. This is awful. This sucks. What the hell, this really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaking out. I can't believe it. So that's what today was. Damn it, I couldn't even prepare for it. I couldn't even brace myself, and now it's here and I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished. Sorry, I thought you knew. So I guess you're not going to do anything today. The weather's even good. Yesterday it was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not, though, so there's no reason to stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands. Ah, no, I can't do it. He'll eat me alive out there, I know it. That has to be a joke, but he said with such a straight face. Relatively straight. What are you going to do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together. Well, I joined the art club, so I guess I'll go with them. You did what? I joined the art club. Man, that was a bad move. Really bad. You know what kind of girls there are in the art club. Troubled, angsty cuties who tear your heart out and eat it raw. Well, I know one art club member, and I don't really see Rin suddenly becoming a psychotic murderer. That seems unlikely. Don't say that. Don't fool yourself. You have no idea what you're dealing with here, man. They are the worst kind. They drag you in with all this fancy-pantsy shit, and then when you least expect it, bam. Bam what? Kenji seems slightly phased at my skepticism, but not any less a loony. It doesn't matter. Tread carefully, man. Tread carefully. He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster, like he's trying to start a fire. Then slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course. I'm gonna have to find some place to hide in a safe haven and then knock the lights out of myself so I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival. Okay. Later, dude. The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. The happy hubbub of the crowd greets me as I push myself through the main door and step outside. School grounds were transformed into festival grounds over yesterday and this morning. Colorful stands line at the main walkway from the main entrance to the school building. Some people are still carrying stuff to and fro, but behind most counters are relaxed students who look like they are good to go. Most of the other students have been up earlier to finish the preparations. A feeling of guilt passes through me, but it soon goes away. I'm just a lowly transfer student after all. Some visitors are already strolling around the grounds. There are some young families with the perturbed parents trying to keep up with their over-enthusiastic offspring. A few students of our own accompanied by their parents. And a lot of old and young people who are here for no reason I can imagine. The Carillon, I'm not sure how to pronounce Carillon, bursts into life and the principal's squeaky voice announces the opening of the festival over the PA system. Everyone applauds politely if a bit enthusiastically. A school festival, we didn't really have festivals in my old school. It feels kind of old-fashioned, especially considering the school I came from, but it's still somewhat exciting. A day off feels sweet after the first week of hard work, despite me lying on the hospital dead for 4 months prior to this. I recall even wishing I could go to the math lessons during my stint at the hospital. Can't remember the program for the festival, even though Muto went through it during class just the other day. I step off the dorm steps intending to take a tour around the grounds to see all the stuff the others have set up, but I only make it down to the bottom of the stairs. A few people are studying Rin's mural on the wall, while the artist herself is lounging on the sidelines, leaning against the wall and looking extremely bored and mildly under the weather. Good morning. Hello. How's it going? Nowhere. I'm stuck. What do you mean stuck? I mean I can't walk stuck. I think my legs are out of order because of yesterday. Does it hurt? It's hard to say. Maybe. The strain of working under the mural was greater than she let me know. I thought it was just a bit of tired muscles or something. I mean to ask something further, but Rin swiftly moves on to another topic. Teacher's friends came by. Then they headed into town for lunch and asked me to go. It was a good thing my legs hurt so much. But you're stuck sitting there. That's not good. I'll just wait until I can walk again. It should be either sooner or later, if you think about it for a while. Teacher was happy that I finished the mural. He should be. But I wonder if it's finished after all. Oh? I thought yesterday that I had done everything, but now I'm not sure anymore. I should paint more details, maybe. Probably. It's very hard to decide. Finish or not, the mural looks great in broad daylight. Yeah. Great. Okay. I don't know if great is what I'd say. It looks weird. Various human body parts repeated over and over in a wildly mutating, mostly disfigured variety are the main element. They're rough looking, as if thoughtlessly placed and rudimentally painted, but a great deal of thought and care has gone to each and every one of them. Does this one have a frog growing out of his head? It's a goldfish. Okay. What's that? It's nothing. Anyway, the wall is so wide I have to turn my neck from side to side to see the entire painting. It's hard to consider as a single piece. The elements don't seem to fit together, but I guess they do create some kind of whole. I should save right now because I I'm going to need a... What the heck? This is the one, yeah. Because it hasn't been a CG again for this one. They don't seem to fit together, but I guess they do create some kind of a whole. Abstract as it is, I have no idea what it's supposed to be portraying, but it looks nice. That's enough for me. I settle myself next to Rin, leaning against the wall like she does. The happy noises of the festival are becoming louder as more and more folks enter the grounds. Dorms are far from the main attractions in the main building and the stands around the courtyard, so most visitors have not found their way here yet. A somewhat bored expression settles on Rin's face, making her look detached from everything that's going on around her. She's being awfully quiet. I wonder if she's in pain. So what did the art people say about your mural? My question wakes Rin from her daydreaming. She lazily turns to face towards me. I'm not sure. I think they liked it. Maybe they did. What about you? Are you happy with the mural? Because I kind of participated. It'd be terrible if you were unhappy. Rin tilts her head, biting her lower lip. I think it came out decently. It's not bad, but it's not good either. It just is. I guess I'm alright at being empty-minded. Can I ask something else? What does the painting really portray? I thought about it yesterday when you said it doesn't portray anything. But that's a logical fallacy, isn't it? You can't make something out of nothing, not even art. Rin frowns and turns her head towards the clouds. I don't know. I'm not really good at explaining things. It's just a mural. There is nothing special to it. I said it already. She sounds annoyed at my inquiries. I didn't know what I'd paint, so I decided to paint a mural. It's a mural that portrays a mural. No, wait, I just thought of a better way to say it. It portrays itself. So its muralness is at the maximum. Oh, at least as far as I can do, so if you think it has some meaning, I think that's the same as this one has. That makes no sense. Meaning I feel the corners of my mouth turning upwards into a smile that's just a tiny bit bothered. I've never understood art in the deepest meaning of the word. I get the basics, how art is supposed to only be a means for exchanging ideas and thoughts. However, I never learned how I should interpret a piece of art, to somehow divine what the artist intends to say through it. I know it's not any special skill, but somehow my brain can never connect art with anything else than what I see. All I see is a mural. I can admire the technical skill. After all, even I know the difference between bad art and mediocre art and good art. But that's as far as I can go, so don't ask me about meanings, Rin. Her reply sure made me reluctant to ask her about it. Any further either. So what are you doing when you first get on your feet? Nothing. Nothing, but there's the festival. Don't you want to go have some fun? I'm fine like this. You don't like socializing much, do you? I think I'm arguing more for her than myself at this point. It's not that I'm particularly thrilled about the festival either, just a bit curious to see what it's like, and that's about it. Her answer is unsurprising. No, I don't. I guess me neither in the end. You should go if you want to. I know, but I can keep you company. I'm not used to all this just yet, so it's okay to take it easy. I can leave, though, if you want to be alone. I like it if you are here. We circle around each other with words and eventually end up somewhere. Her saying that makes me feel oddly happy, so I stay. Her presence is something I like too. The odd, warm aura of serenity that she seems to emanate makes me feel comfortable to be silent. I really like that. We watch people walk by, the two of us silent, everyone else chatting happily among themselves. Students are leading their families to the dorms to show their rooms. They pass us in the mural, maybe glance at it once or twice. I pay less attention to them, and more to my companion, trying to figure out my way past her cryptic, unreadable wall of a face. Rin's eyes flicker restlessly from one person to another as they walk by. Is she waiting for people to stop at the mural, maybe secretly hoping someone would comment on it? I don't think anyone would assume she was the artist. We're just sitting here like a pair of hobos, after all, and she doesn't even have hands. Wonder if it's even in Rin's style to fetish her compliments. She seems so aloof. More people walk by, some of them pointing their fingers at the mural, exchanging words that I can't make out. Someone drops a snow cone on his shoe, too bad for him. Everyone seems to like it. I suggested tentatively, throwing a topic in the stale summer air separating us. Rin doesn't answer right away, but by now I am mostly used to her occasional slowness when she must talk. It's like she takes great care picking her words, which is really unbelievable when you consider the jumble that comes out of her mouth. I wanted to make it so you can just look at it without thinking, then I realized that it doesn't make any sense, so it became something like a mix of this and that. From far away, it looks like someone vomited a herd of butterflies on the wall, which is exactly what that obnoxious president person didn't want. Is that word that? What word? That, which is the word from me for more than one butterfly. Butterflies? No, like a herd or a school or a heap. What the heck is a group of butterflies called? Yeah, I was thinking that too, a flock. Maybe people like butterfly vomit. Rin looks at the mural, looking surprisingly unhappy. The middle could be better. Usually I like in-betweens, but this was a pain in the butt. Not literally, of course. Then again, I did get that too. I guess it was literally after all. Don't be so critical of yourself. She looks at me funnily, but shuts up. About this point, I start thinking if I really should leave and do something more constructive with my Sunday. This is the pinnacle of social failure, a free whole day, a festival right outside my doorstep, and what do? Sit here with Rin, two bystanders with nothing to do except to think what a pity it is to be just a bystander. Even realizing how pitiful it is, I don't do anything. I don't stand up and take off for a day of fun. Rin is shuffling about restlessly, constantly swinging one leg over the other knee and then back again. She's a very irritated look on her face. Is something wrong? Yes. No. Yes. She suddenly hops up on her feet. It's surprising. I thought she was still rendered immobile, but apparently that's not the case. I have to go find Emmy or someone. I need help with something. I can help you. No, it's okay. One of us has to stay here in case something happens. Don't be ridiculous. Nothing even remotely interesting has happened since I came here, except the one guy who dropped a snow cone on his foot. Let me help you since I'm bored. So what is it? Rin's lips flatten tightly against each other into an almost perfectly horizontal line. She closes her eyes and draws in a deep breath. When she opens her eyelids, the frighteningly stern look in her dark eyes take me back. Zhao, you might not want to hear this, or maybe you do. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. And even if it would, you are not leaving me any choice. I'm having my period and I need some help regarding that. However, I don't feel that our relationship is yet on the level where I could allow you to pull my underwear down to the girls' toilet even if you offer to. That's why you should stay here while I go look for Emmy. As blood rushes my cheeks like the rising tide, my brains try to desperately search for an answer, but the only thing I can think of is how that was the most coherent thing I've ever heard coming out of Rin's mouth during these 4 days I've known her. Yes. Not wanting to meet Rin's eyes, I turn my face aside, pretending I'm looking at someone's parents. From the corner of my eye, I see Rin turning her heel and walking off without further ado. I feel like I'm going to hide under some rock. Wonder how long Rin will be gone, or if she'll return at all. Alright, well, I'm going to end it there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.